Just a reminder to join us online at GwinnettPrepRally.com for the world-famous message board and video highlights. You can also keep up with GPR on Twitter and on our Facebook fan page, so be sure to give us a like. Well, the Dacula Falcons are currently second in the Region 8 standings, and they wanted to hold on to that spot for a first-round home playoff game, while the upstart Archer Tigers are trying to make the state playoffs in only their second year of competition. Nathan Shutter has all the action from Dacula.
Dacula could secure a spot in the state playoffs with a win over Archer. First quarter, Rocky Coco Bianco with the quarterback keeper up the middle finds a huge hole, shoots through for a first down before finally being brought down from behind by John Gillis. Later in the drive, it's Coco Bianco with the pass down the sideline, complete to Brandon Bartlett, who hangs on to the ball. A couple of plays later, it's Brandon Goodson who takes the snap, throws a quick out to Marcus Cox, who breaks a tackle and heads down the sideline. Cox is going to win the foot race to the end zone, 33-yard touchdown. Falcons up 7-0. Next Falcon possession, it's Goodson again, back to pass, throws deep downfield, finds Davian McEwen in the end zone for the 30-yard touchdown, and the Falcons take a 14-0 lead over the Tigers. Later in the half, Archer forced a punt, fielded on a bounce by Marcus Cox, who reverses his field, finds a seam and is off and running all the way into the end zone for the score. Falcons would lead 24-0 at the half, but it was all Falcons in this one, 35-15 over the Tigers.
Big win for Dacula, Will, and like we said, they keep themselves right in line to maybe be a number 2 seed and get a home playoff game, which is quite an accomplishment after the rough start they had this year.
Yeah, they're in a really good spot. I mean, if Grayson beats Brookwood this week, it does a lot of good things for Dacula. It really puts them in line for that number 2 seed for sure. But they put themselves in a great place just with their play on the field. Just an excellent game here against Archer. I think as far as they played against Brookwood on defense, it was one of their better defensive games, but this one ranks right up there. Just really shut down a very physical Archer team that runs the ball very well. So great defensive effort by the Falcons.
Time now to recap more football action from this past Friday night. It's brought to you by Next Star Communications, and we start off with the Shiloh Generals.
Yeah, great game for Shiloh. They finally got that offense rolling. They've had some rough times, had some tough matchups, but did it against Burtmar 55-28. Brandon Wise and Justin Martin combining for 269 yards and 5 touchdowns. Just getting it done on the ground, and this is a tough loss for Burtmar, but they're a very young team. I think got a bright future there for the Burtmar team.
And North Gwinnett getting ready maybe for a showdown with Peachtree Ridge. They keep things rolling. They beat a good Mill Creek team and beat them pretty solidly.
Yeah, definitely. That offensive balance continues to be great. Joe Jones rushed for 119 yards and a touchdown, and then, Scotty Hush, one of the better quarterbacks in the area, so they can throw the ball well. And that North Gwinnett defense is just outstanding. Just really shut down what is a talented Mill Creek offense.
And then we talk about Peachtree Ridge possibly getting ready for that showdown with North Gwinnett, and they played some good football against Duluth.
Yeah, we know Peachtree Ridge has always had that power running game the past few years. DeAndre Atwater, Raham Dixon scored 3 touchdowns on this one, but a very balanced offense this year. Billy Best is getting it to a variety of playmakers, including this guy, Joe Horn. Really led them to a great start and possibly a region title.
And then we've been talking about Brookwood getting ready for Grayson. Well, Grayson got ready for Brookwood by blowing out South Gwinnett 40-0, and this Grayson team looks to be playing some very good football with
it. Yeah, it used to be a pretty good rivalry game, but this one wasn't much to see. Grayson took care of business, played excellent on defense, and got a lot of plays on offense. Nick Schusler, 7 of 9 for 113 yards. Just really, Grayson can do it in a lot of ways on offense, and the defense is outstanding and fast as usual.
And going back, talking about that North Gwinnett football team, I think everybody always thinks about North Gwinnett, they think about offense, but this year that defense is just plain top-notch.
Yeah, the defense is great. I mean, they're so fast. That's what stands out to me. They really close quickly and really make plays all over the field, and that's really going to help them in the playoffs. I think this is a team that can do a lot. I know North Gwinnett's had some rough outings in the playoffs recently, but I think this is a team that can put it together. They're very balanced on offense and like we said, so great on defense.
Time now for Will's World. We put 60 seconds on the clock. We get into the mind of our very own Will Hammock. It's brought to you by Breda Pest Management.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Peachtree Ridge and their power running attack. DeAndre Atwater is the big part of that. He's a guy that can really get it done. Very powerful guy. Has more speed than you might think for a guy that's so stocky, but he once he gets rolling, he's so hard to tackle. He's kind of like Michael Turner from the Falcons. Has that low base, very thick, very hard to get your hands around. So he's a tough guy to tackle. Really going to be key to them as they go into the playoffs. And a couple of young teams, Burtmar and Central. I mean, there's a lot of young talent on those two teams, but like it is, I mean, Region 8, it's tough to win with young talent, and that's exactly what these two teams are. As they grow up these next couple of years, I think you're going to see Central and Burtmar both being pretty good teams that can maybe factor into the playoff mix even, especially with Central. Got a lot of playmakers over there that are underclassmen. And some basketball news, a lot of commitments for Wesleyan. Holly Wilkins there going to Furman. Kaylin Caldwell has committed to Georgia, Jordan Fraser to Wofford, and Missy Bird to Air Force. So Jan Azar's team, always a powerhouse in Class A, no different this year. They're very loaded with all those college commitments so far. And the Wesleyan boys, Shane Smith committed to Army this week. So a lot of recruiting news for basketball over there at Wesleyan.
And Will, going back to DeAndre Atwater, he's had a great season, like you said, such a hard runner. How is that going to equate against the North Gwinnett defense? Can Peachtree Ridge run that power game and have success against the Bulldogs?
I think they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to mix it up. They're going to have to establish that run against North Gwinnett if they want to have a chance. If they sit back there and try and throw it a lot with Billy Best, and North's got ball hawks all over the place. So they're going to have to have a balanced offense, really mix it up with the run, and starting with that power run game with DeAndre.
Time now to focus on standout performances, so let's move on to this week's Building Blocks presented by Britt's Home Furnishing. And first up is Nick Tompkins. Will, in the history of Brookwood Parkview, I think this may go down as possibly the most famous play.
Yeah, definitely, and certainly the play of the week and maybe the play of the year here in Gwinnett County football so far. Just a great play. I mean, you want your star players to make plays when you need it, and that's exactly what Nick Tompkins did. I mean, Brookwood backs against the wall, about to lose to Parkview, and he takes a kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown. So that really a difference maker. Had
Nick Tompkins not returned that kickoff for a touchdown, we might be talking about Jack Esmonde as the greatest plays in Parkview Brookwood history. He had two of the prettiest passes you'll ever see in this game, Will.
Yeah, Jack Esmonde and Jordan Reed, the guy that caught him, just great plays by both those guys. Really could have been a hero in this series, and really almost were. They really took Parkview to the brink of a victory, but special teams play by Nick Tompkins changed it.
And then we move over to Buford, and it just seems like they have athlete after athlete after athlete. And Andre Johnson, you see him running there, and just a tough bulldog of a runner.
Yeah, he's a very underrated guy. I mean, he's a really powerful runner, and he works well. Buford really wants to have the power run game behind that big line. He's a guy that really doesn't mess around, runs over guys. He has maybe some underestimated speed, but definitely a power back that really gets it done.
Well, Will, those were all great performances. Who else played well last week that we should mention?
We talked about them earlier, but Rocky Capobianco and Marcus Cox from Dacula just continue to make plays. I mean, they're the two best playmakers for that Dacula team, and they've led their teams to a great season. Rocky had 166 yards. Marcus had a couple of big touchdowns, so that's quite the combo for Dacula, and they've led them to great things so far.
Time now for Will to shake the magic 8-ball and predict some games as we preview some key matchups on the gridiron this week. It's brought to you by Tommy Lee Carpets. We call it Beat the Post, and we'll give you a chance to do exactly that. And Will, we start off with that game you talked about, Archer at Parkview. Can Parkview avoid a hangover and get the win over Archer?
Yeah, Parkview has the edge in experience. It's going to be a tough game, but I think Parkview's played pretty good last week if they can just shake off that hangover like you said. But I think in the end, Parkview's going to find a way to win this one and get back to the playoffs.
We have Central Gwinnett playing at Shiloh. Does Central Gwinnett's offense get things going?
I think so. I think there could be a lot of points scored in this one. I think Central Gwinnett has the offense to get it done, have a lot of playmakers. I look for a big Central win.
A big game for playoff seeding. Looks like Collins Hill and Norcross probably both going to the playoffs, but who gets the win in this game, Collins Hill or Norcross?
I think Collins Hill's playing better right now. I think they're really a team that can surprise some people in the playoffs. They've really turned it around, but I think in the end it's going to come down to Norcross playing at home, having too much talent, so I like the Blue Devils.
And North Gwinnett tries to keep things rolling. They're going to play at Duluth.
Yeah, North Gwinnett, I think they're definitely going to keep things rolling. Duluth's a little bit better with Anthony Stewart back at quarterback, but he's still not 100%, so I like the Bulldogs.
This is maybe a little bit of a trap game for Peachtree Ridge, maybe looking ahead to North Gwinnett, but they're going to have to play Mill Creek first. Can Peachtree Ridge get past the Mill Creek Hawks?
It's going to be tough. I talked to Peachtree Ridge coach Mark Fleetwood, and he said Mill Creek is a playoff team, and it's obviously they just lost the wrong games. A lot of talent, and it's definitely a team that can beat Peachtree Ridge. It's going to have to be focused, and I think the Lions can do it and pull off the win.
Well, there's a video that asks Brookwood, where you at? They will be at Grayson this Friday night for a statement game in Region 8. Can Brookwood pull the upset, or does Grayson get the revenge that they are looking for?
I think for Brookwood to have any chance, they're going to have to do something against that Grayson defense, and I think that's easier said than done. Just too much speed on that Grayson defense. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Rams are going to do it.
All right, we're out of time, but please join us next week for more highlights and features on Gwinnett Prep Rally every Tuesday through Friday right here on GCPS TV. And you can go to GwinnettPrepRally.com for all the scheduling details. For Will Hammock and all of us here at GPR, I'm Todd Klein. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you under the lights.
Grab some wood there, bub.